gay or straight. So that was the conundrum and confusion around me. Like, what do you mean you can choose, right? But on the other hand, the lack of support that was going on around anybody that was gay, it was illegal. I mean, can you even believe that it was illegal? Like, that's an unheard of thing. You tell the generation now, we tell our children, they're like, what are you talking about? What? And that, by the way, is one of my greatest badges of honor that I helped with that. But our consciousness now doesn't really have an idea of how to wrap our heads around how much fear there was in the celebrities. That's why Ellen deserves the position she deserves. She took that stance and stepped forward and took on the battle. She did not have warriors on her side. Other than me, we were pretty much we were the 1-2 punch. We were each other's army. And that, I know has been erased from history, as we said, but my participation in that. But it was true. She didn't have a lot of people standing up for her or with her because of the fear. And that's all, again, you got to look at the generation before Rosie. Why was she raised in a place, or Ellen, or any one of us raised in a place where they couldn't be themselves? And yet, when Ellen came out, that brings up, what does that do? That brings up all of the reflection of everything that a lot of those women were going through, the very famous women who are going through thinking that if they were discovered or seen, then they would have to go back to the hatred that they felt. And it's a viable fear. But the way that I experienced it was quite massive. Shut up, don't talk about you, like, don't talk about who you are. I'm not saying that it hasn't had its shift in the consciousness, but there are still a lot of people who have a lot of fear around it, and that's one of the things I want to eradicate. Let's get rid of this fear. It's driving me bananas, and I've spent 20 years trying to fight it, and I will continue until the day we are not in a conscious, loving situation.
Yeah.
I know you froze.
You froze for a minute. I don't know why it keeps freezing. Well, I mean, yes, I agree with that in the sense that, you live in LA, I live in New York, we're in the entertainment business, but yes, there are times still, I mean, as a gay man, when I'm reminded this world is not where I always think it is, living in my bubble.
Yes.
Often.
Well, and we do. I mean, that's part of what keeps us safe. I'm pretty committed to popping bubbles.
I like popping bubbles. This is my last question, I promise, about this, but.
Then what are we going to talk about?
Well, I have a couple more questions about your wonderful career and your podcast, but so listen, so you were canceled, so to speak, for 10 years. And, there's all these rumors then that came out, Ellen is the queen of mean and a toxic work environment and all of that. And now since this has come out, her show has been canceled, the ratings, her Q factor is down, the likability. Did I freeze again?
Yes, okay, I can't stand it.
I don't know I don't think it's on my end, but it might be, but I don't think it is. I just did one before this and it's like.
I know, it's so weird. We do our podcast here every day. I don't know. Maybe it's just our energy.
I don't know. Oh, I love you. So I hope it's not our energy, Anne.
No, I mean, our energy is just going, scene.
It seems like for you, it's when you move close to the computer. Really a
horrible connection I have.
Yeah. I don't know, like I could try to move it seems like for you, it's when you lean forward. I don't know why. I'm just noticing.
Okay, well, I'll stay here.
I mean, I don't want you to be uncomfortable though.
No.
It's like weird.
I know. It's a little. Ron, sorry, Heather's going to be, I don't know what. All right, I'm going to stay here.
Well, no, I was saying, you were, like you said, effectively canceled, so to speak, for 10 years. And now we're in this world that we live in, and there was all these rumors like Ellen's show. It's the toxic work environment. She's the queen of mean. Her likability factor has gone down. Her Q score, her show is over. I mean, do you think like all this backlash Ellen deserves?
I don't, that's not really my place. I mean, the things that I wanted to say about Ellen, I said on the show, and I've been very conscious about my support and love for listen, it is not fun to go through a difficult time when the world turns on you. And I have been there, so I have a lot of compassion. And I don't think, to be honest with you, I think if we lived in a world that was grounded in love and support for each other, no one would have to deal with backlash or pain or sorrow, because those are the things I believe get bottled up inside and then we lash out. I don't believe the behavior is very difficult an equation to understand. When we haven't dealt with our emotions and we haven't dealt with our fears and we haven't dealt with our anger and we haven't dealt with our hatred, it comes up and out. That's called discrimination. It goes both ways. We hurt people when we haven't healed ourselves. So I believe that it is our responsibility to be in joy when we stand where we are. When I sit in my place of being with you, I'm glad I'm here. I want to receive you. That is a place that takes some maturity. Everybody doesn't get to stand there. I have compassion in the fact that she's not standing where she would like to stand.
Fair enough. And that makes sense to me too. I wanted to ask you, out of everything you've done in your career, Dancing with the Stars, awful, fun.
That was a great move, I thought.
You loved
it.
Not
dance move. I didn't just give you a dance move, but that was a huge moment for me. I was very thrilled to do Dancing with the Stars. Heather and I are a team, a partnership. She's also my PR woman. So we knew going into that, it was the first live show during COVID. But also, I'm a dancer. I love to dance. I don't know how to do things right. And so I thought that would be a blast to be able to show. Also, we were given an opportunity in this moment to reintroduce me to an audience that I had not been reaching and never had the opportunity to reach. So it was fun on very many levels. If I were, my dad died of AIDS in '83, and if he were, alive, I would say I brought out my inner showgirl. If it was up to him, I would have been in sequins and in fake tiaras my whole life, right? So I was finally dancing out this inner showgirl, which I thought was so much fun. I embrace characters so largely that I don't add things that aren't necessary. So I was given an opportunity to become a character that was a dancing showgirl living out loud, and the opportunity to turn